Okay. What do you want? You're still hungry. Uh-oh. Do you want some cheese? No. Do you want some extra snack stuff? You want chips and salsa? No. Okay. What do you mean you hate salsa? You've had it the last 2 days. Okay. I can never find chat. Not on that screen, baby. Madam, what are you doing? They can't see you, but you got to stay super close to the wall. Yeah, I can't see chat on this stupid thing. I can never find it either. I'll let him handle this. You can read. I can't read chat across the house. I need it on my computer. They can see us. I'm forgetting something.
What?
I don't know, because I forgot it.
Really?
It was something to do for the kids before. I don't know. It's fine. No, I can't give you a hair. I got a stream, girl. I told you. I told you yesterday that we weren't going to get to haircuts.
Hi, Dad.
Okay, let him have some. What's that? Okay. I mean, I guess, sure. You can share.
Yeah. Good to go.
Yep.
There you go. Sure. Is that the big spoon?
Hey, everybody.
With your hands.
Okay, so that's one chat.
How audio and video look, how audio sounds and all that.
How are audio and video friends?
This last cooking stream I changed it. I forgot that I changed it. That's been live for the last whatever hours.
Okay. Oh goodness. I can never find anything. Okay, live.
You have CC Prof and you keep that.
Yeah, except I have no. Okay, hold on a second. Why? Like scroll? Thank you.
I can do this.
Hello?
Please share. Pineapple?
Honestly, can you I really don't want that. Can you grab me some like a gummy snack or something? My blood sugar's low.
You need some sugar, babe?
Yeah. My mic is hot.
That's what I thought.
Thank you, big girl.
Yeah, I never. Oh, you got it? Okay, cool. Let me go test.
Do I have anyone cooking with me today? Luke, seriously. Mm-mm. Sorry, big girl. I
Like normal?
What, talk? Just talk like normal? Hey, Luke, no. That was not normal. That was a little loud. Okay, this is normal.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, ears. Stay away from the camera. How many times? This is why we have Grammy take you guys for the weekends on weekends that I'm doing this. Stay away from the camera. Did you guys get enough food? You're still eating. Did you get enough food? Okay. Aw. Ethan's, how's your leg? How's your knee? You're still eating. Did you get enough food? Okay. You're full? I love that. Your sister had one and was like, that wasn't enough food. What did you even eat? You ate less than half of that. Are you sure? You're sure you're full? Positive. You didn't eat all your breakfast either. Okay. Have you been snacking at least? No? All right. Will you promise me to have a snack later? Okay. Still on crutches? No. What? Who? Wait, I missed it because I was being whatever at the kids. I also promised to have a snack later. Oh, nice. Shauna's cooked with me before. This is gonna be super simple. I'm very excited for you to have these cookies. I'm not making the pistachio paste to stuff these. This is a really simple cooking stream. I have a feeling, so this is gonna be kind of casual. We're not actually gonna turn this into a video on YouTube. Other than the live, we're not gonna make a playlist for that, like a playlist video for this, because we're gonna keep. Wait, why aren't there? Oh, I've got the sub timer down there. We're gonna keep alerts on, because his stream is still going, and so I don't want to. If I don't know, it feels weird to like take over his stream and not leave the marathon going, or what are we calling it now? The begathon. It feels weird to like kind of take over and get rid of those things. So we're just gonna leave everything running, which means this is gonna be really casual. It's not gonna turn into a video on the playlist. And so I kind of opted to not stuff these just because it's extra time. I do intend to. I really should do a pistachio paste something or other at some point, just because it's a super popular thing right now. Pistachios, because of the Dubai chocolate trend, are flavoring everything and everyone's obsessed with it, which good, because pistachios are delicious and I'm so glad everyone's caught on. But I won't be making the paste today. We're just going to be making the cookies. We're not like doing the paste cores. So this is going to take us like no time. And I'm very excited about that.
We got 5 hours.
Shauna, I guess out of curiosity, if you have read the instructions or not. Oh, the instructions. Can you go get the instructions out of Luke's room? That's why I needed it.
We can
kid
turn
stuff.
Chat. Can we turn off stuff and you don't care?
No, because it's not the full recipe. Like, I mean, it's technically the full recipe. Okay, so I actually rewrote several months ago because I didn't want people to shy away from this recipe because they didn't want to do the core and stuff the cookies. And so I kind of rewrote it to be like, hey, you can make this with or without, like just skip over whatever instructions aren't part of it, and go from there and like kind of, choose your own cookie for this one. I still think that I might need to like break this up at some point and like make the cookies and then make a stuffed version. And even though they're like really similar, just kind of have both online. Because there are there's like one slight difference that you can or cannot choose to do. It's really up to us today. But because it's not like the whole thing, instruction for instruction, I feel like it's kind of silly to make a playlist video and then not have the whole thing going. So I also love cookies, Brandon. So yeah, so if Shauna, if you've looked at the instructions, let me go back to what I was originally saying. Have you already softened the butter, gotten anything to room temperature, or are we just taking it out of the refrigerator? Because I just took my stuff out of the refrigerator, and if you two are in the same boat, I will help you with getting everything ready in a flash. So let me know where you are, and I will help y'all out.
How do you, on iPhone, how do you
The next hour of the stream is sponsored by me.
Can you just automatically have people their names or pictures?
Only if they have it set to
okay.
share. Yeah. Unfortunately. Did you put it in Stoat?
No, he's watching.
No, I know that. But did you like put the like, hey, guess what I did thing as like an initial message, or did they find out?
I texted him.
Am I cool now? Okay. Okay. Got it. We did a jump scare. Is that what we did?
Yeah.
Instead of like
Ooh, I'm blue.
Butter is softened already. Okay, cool. So then I'm just gonna go through this real quick.
You know, some people go iPhone, some people go Android. I'm just gonna use both.
Okay, this takes a whole cup of butter. If you're in America, it's 2 sticks. Otherwise, it's 227 grams. Can you please get the recipe out of Luke's printer, or the printer in Luke's room? So I'm using this entire thing of butter, and butter went on sale at my Costco, and I wanted to buy. I usually buy like between 5 and 7 like boxes of 4 of these at Costco, and then just keep them in my refrigerator because they go on sale twice a year. And Lep told me that I shouldn't do it because we're moving, and why would we like? How are we going to take butter with us? Because it's perishable. And I get it. I get it. Like, you know. But now I'm down to like 2 of these, and I'm like, is that going to be enough butter for a month? Like, I only have 2 of these left.
This girl butter.
I'm in trouble. Okay, cool. You got everything ready. We just haven't actually started the recipe. All the ingredients are out. Cool. We're basically on the same page. I just took my egg out of the refrigerator because it's better to have the egg at like closer to room temperature than very cold. It's good to kind of keep the butter the same consistency if you start adding like cold or hot things instead of having everything at like one temperature. It starts to mess with how things are incorporated. So I've got egg and butter need to be kind of like softened closer to room temperature kind of a thing. Because my egg just came out of the refrigerator, I have a just like tepid, like warm cup of water here, and I put the egg inside of it. And so that's warming up. That's probably about the temperature I want it to be at this point. It's been in there for 2.5 minutes. No, I've been standing here longer than that. It's been in here for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to quickly soften this butter. There are a couple ways that you can do this. You can get, like if you have like individual sticks in the US, you can get like a jar of some kind if you have mason jars or anything like that in your house, or just some kind of container. And you can essentially take the wrapped butter and set it aside, fill up the jar with super hot water from your tap or like boiling water or whatever. Honestly, it's supposed to be tempered, so that should be fine, but I would just say like hot tap water is fine. And then let it sit for like 5 seconds, pour it out, and then put the butter straight up and down and put the jar on top of it. And that ambient heat that's retained in the glass and from the hot water in the glass will soften your butter pretty quickly. Or you can just do what I'm going to do right now, which is cutting this into pats and then putting it in the microwave on softened butter. If you do any kind of like softened butter in a microwave, or you're using any kind of like actual like direct or I guess I say direct heat. I would consider microwave direct heat. then you're gonna want to make sure that these are like you have like really small pieces. The smaller the better, but honestly, who has time for that? If you do like the whole stick or brick of butter, then the outside will soften faster than the inside, and it's all going to be different. What's up? What do you think? Okay. It's all going to be different consistencies, and then they're not going to mix right. So you definitely want to make sure that this is split up before you do any softening. Okay. Good. Okay, so we're just going to do that.
I'm going to record it anyway.
I'm going to probably, okay, that's fine. You can record it anyway. I'm going to have that run probably twice. It's like I have a softened butter, what is it called? Setting. I have a softened butter setting on the microwave. It's about a 45-second at like a 10 power level. So if you, like 10% power, so if you do not have cool buttons on your microwave, then just put it on a low power and do little by little, and you'll be good. You grabbed 3 boxes of Kerrygold. Good. I'm so happy for you. I am envious. I'm envious, Shauna. I want that from my life. Ah. I need this to be a bigger. Where's the surrounding? Now I can read. Last of my coffee, ice cold, the way I like it, just like my heart. And everybody knows that I should have said that. Everybody knows my heart is absolutely not cold.
Just like your comebacks, ice cold.
Every time I hear somebody say the word, no, I can't.
Uh-oh.
I just think about the blooper reels from Parks and Rec with Chris Pratt and Kim Kardashian.
Your comebacks?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Great story.
Yeah.
Great story.
I plan to make my own butter at some point. I do.
There goes Ellis. Anyone want to?
Everyone loves a comeback.
He subs before he uh-oh. Do it now before it starts. He'll probably ignore. Well, I don't know.
Well, is that not what you're here for?
I'm here.
In and out?
Yeah, I'll not be on screen the second start.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like stay here with me.
No, you're a cook-off.
But I'm not. Oops, I'm not Phil. Like,
I know, but I don't want to bother you.
you're not gonna bother me. You're not gonna bother me. You keep track of that. It's just like if we were doing a charity stream.
Okay. Fine.
You're busy doing something that you have to focus on. It's like when I come and sit down and talk to chat. And they're like, thank God, somebody to pay attention to us because this man has been hyper-focused for the last several hours. Right?
Gifted, 20 gifted.
Okay.
Tier 2s.
Whoa!
What that timer doing?
Oh my God. Okay, so now this is where I want it to be. We're in a good place. Thank you!
How is Carrie just so much better at me than everything? Dado. Like you, like many of us, we marry up.
Wait, what did you say?
He said, how, I don't know, it's a long time ago.
Okay.
How is she literally just so much better than
Wow.
Lep? And then Brandon said, it's crazy, right? Semizu with
There's
the
a
5
reason-
gifted.
There's a reason that people will...
The hell? Here.
Your
God.
hands are ice cold. There's a reason people say that he burned all his luck.
Yeah, that's true. I ran out of luck. Your exclamation point luck, exclamation point luck. You were bamboozled.
Yeah.
I casted my one magic spell that I got from the genie and
Okay.
we're done. Okay.
First things first.
Wait.
Oh.
I didn't start the recording.
Oh.
I didn't.
No,
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
No.
I mean, you can, but I already told you.
Fine. Just go. Whatever.
Just live. F it. We'll do it live. Okay. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make our pistachio flour. Okay. grab yourself a blender. You can also use a food processor if you are good with a more rustic cookie. I personally feel that I really like to have the cookies really soft. So I prefer to use a high-powered blender and then just do like super small batches so that I'm getting everything kind of blended really fast, take it out, do another batch kind of thing, and kind of go back and forth so that all of it is blended to the same texture. If you do this in a food processor and it's more rustic, you are gonna have like pieces of cookie that are like maybe slightly crunchy or just kind of like larger pieces of pistachio in there. That is absolutely not a bad thing. It's almost like if you had like mix-ins, you know, like where sometimes you put like walnuts or things in like a chocolate chip cookie. It's kind of like that, where you have like a singular texture and then it's studded with pieces of pistachio. That is absolutely fine if that is your way to go. I like these as like softer cookies, so I use this. I need 220 grams, and I'm actually going to weigh that out in a separate bowl because I'm going to be blending this in batches. I believe that I had said it's about 1.5 cups worth of pistachios. It ends up being about 2 cups of pistachios once it's all blended, just because it's like aerated better and as the nuts are broken down. But if you do, you start with about 1.5 cups, it's 220 grams. I think I already said that. We're gonna do this. Now, if you want these to be like really pretty and green, you can pick through your pistachios. Honestly, the flavor will be better too if you pick through your pistachios and you choose all the green ones, because sometimes as they age, the flavor goes off a little bit. It's really up to you. I kind of want to do that today, but also it takes a while and I'm striving for simplification right now. So I might just kind of like, I think what I'm going to do is just pour some on a plate. You can just measure them out. If you have like really fresh pistachios, you can just pour them into your bowl and weigh that and it'd be fine. If you get Persian or Turkish pistachios, you can get them like pre-slivered and pre-peeled and that whole kind of a thing. And that will give you like a really, really green cookie or a really green pistachio paste. If you have these and you want, there's so many different ways to make like pistachio paste and make things greener. You can just add food coloring if you're like, screw it. Like I absolutely don't want to be like picking through anything. Like just add a little bit of green food coloring, immediately better. If you wanted these, using these pistachios, like say something that you get like from the store. So like I have just bagged pistachios that I bought that are salted, roasted, and pre-shelled. You can get them with the shell and then shell them. That obviously takes more time. But pistachios do tend to be fresher when you're shelling them yourself and they're not pre-shelled. So keep that in mind, maybe. If you are using this type of pistachio and they're not also pre-peeled, you do have a kind of like husk that's on like some of the pistachios. And in order to get that off to have an even greener pistachio paste and cookie, then you're gonna need to boil and like blanch them, which essentially means you're gonna stick a pot of water on your stove. You're gonna bring that to a pretty rapid boil, and then you're gonna drop in your pistachios for no more, stick with me, no more than 1.5 minutes. You're gonna scoop them out, put them on some paper towel or in a towel, and then directly into ice water. We're blanching. Directly into ice water. Once those have chilled, you're gonna take them out of the water, put them on a towel, kind of like this. This honestly is so extra, but we're just gonna go through the steps if anybody really has the want to do that. So like pretend those are blanched. We're gonna take them and you're gonna rub them around in the towel like this. And then those skins, because you've boiled them and then blanched them, are going to come off. And you can easily kind of peel. That also takes so much time. I would seriously, like, it takes hours. It almost feels like if you're nixtamalizing corn and like taking the husks off of corn for like pozole or masa or something like that, it's a forever thing. If you have a large group of people, it could be something that's like a fun, tiny little activity. And if you want to be like uber extra and you have a ton of time on your plate and you need something that takes no brain effort but is like just kind of something you can zone out on, then fine, go ahead and do it. But I would just spend the money on something that's already pre-peeled. If you are using pistachios that are not roasted and not salted, because these are pre-salted and pre-roasted, and that's what I have in the recipe. But if you don't have that type of pistachio, you can put them in the oven for 10 minutes on 300 Fahrenheit. I apologize, I do not know what that is in Celsius right now off the top of my head. For whatever reason, I can only manage to remember that 400 is 204 Celsius, and that's the only temperature I can keep in this little brain of mine. But if you bake them in the oven for about 10 minutes at 300 Fahrenheit, then you end up with your roasted pistachios, and you can then add a half of a teaspoon, which I believe is 1.2 grams of kosher salt, to the cookie recipe, and that will give you your roasted, and then it will add in the salt that you're missing because you're not using pre-salted nuts. So, yeah, a lot of information. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I just said?
That was all off the top of your head?
Yeah. Well, I wrote a whole thing on it. When? 2 years ago.
What? 2 years ago, you wrote a thing.
But I'm still making things that involve pistachios. It's not like I stopped cooking. Oh. 148 Celsius? Okay. Thank you.
33 subs left. Ooh, Expedition 33.
Oh, really?
Subway is what?
I don't know. I'm just going up because I missed everything.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to be over here reading.
I am.
It's okay. I forgive you.
I was like,
No. Yeah, you can't. You gotta nip that in the bud.
We're making Star Wars cookies. I guess you could make them.
So I was contemplating. Stick with me. If anybody's interested.
Oh,
what?
I couldn't think of anything for 9,500 subs. We're 33 subs away.
Yeah.
So last night I said I'll slap a potato.
What? We don't have potatoes in the house though.
What is that?
We used the last of the. Oh, that's a sweet potato. Okay, that's awkward. Okay. I started growing a sweet potato in the house, and I guess it'll have plants coming out the side of it.
I don't know why that's so funny.
That's so weird. See, this is why this takes forever.
So
I'm just sorting. I'm pulling out all the really green ones
because
so that the cookies look prettier.
That's literally just
and this like
cosmetics.
Well, yes, and the funny thing too. Well, not just cosmetics. So like something like, let's say this guy might taste a little off.
Oh yeah, that's a little weird.
So like if you pick through, even if you're just grabbing like the ones that are kind of yellow, like that's fine. So like it could, like in theory, it is a little bit for flavor as well, but I'm just being if I really wanted these to be pretty, I'd have to take the skins off. Like they're not gonna be. They'll be a little green, like there'll be like a touch of it, but I'm just doing this more for flavor than for anything else.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Okay to win. Yeah. Still ate it. I'm a literal garbage dumpster.
Disposal.
No, just dumpster. Just dump trash.
Okay.
We should totally have a "she do work" shirt and a "he don't work" shirt.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Oh, we got the shirt up.
I saw. It looks like it's on a bottle cap.
Yeah, and it says.
Yeah, I saw that.
"He don't work. Lazy Dad Brewing."
That's so cute.
It is.
I love that.
Rockabilly made it. Heart rate's kind of high. What the hell?
Because you're moving around.
No. raise my heart rate.
Aw. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Oh no, I raised his blood pressure, guys.
In good ways and bad ways.
Hey, watch it.
I'm in danger. 10K, you literally eat garbage. Fast fries, baby.
He did that once.
No, don't. We know the story. Let's move on.
No, not everybody here knows the story. His boss used to get Zaxby's chicken nuggets or tenders or whatever the hell and fries meal for lunch. And every time he did it, he would never finish his fries. And Lep told me one day he was feeling really ill. And he was like, I'm going to tell you this. And I don't want you to... I'm going to tell you this. And I please don't judge me. But I was really hungry at work. And my boss had leftover food. And it was in the container still. It was in the cup. The fries were in the cup. And I saw him toss them in the garbage. And I went over and I grabbed them. And I ate them. And I was like, well, of course you feel sick. Like, why are you eating out of the trash? And then that was just like a funny story, right? Funny story. And then years later, we realized that we lost the first recording of me finding out what he did. And I rehashed it on stream. And he goes, well, that's not even the worst part. And I was like, I'm sorry. There's more. There's more to this conversation. There's more. What could you possibly have done that would make that worse? And he said, oh, it wasn't my first time eating his fries out of the trash. And I was like, oh my God. He was like, well, I didn't get sick any of the other times. This man just takes his life into his own hands and is like, you know what? We're going to toss a coin today. Yeah. You gotta love him.
Yeah, and he's finally retiring. I think like this month.
His boss, yeah. His old boss.
My boss or the owner of the
It's
company.
so
the CEO,
gross.
Finally retiring. He's like 85? 80 something?
Yeah.
Still
Sharp as a tack.
Suspiciously smart. Like,
where am I even at? I'm only at 132. God.
Like, I don't know. He's like a robot.
Oh, so I was
He'd be dead without you, Carrie.
I was contemplating making a pistachio milkshake. I don't have pistachio paste, but I feel like we could just like futz around and come up with something.
I will literally, yes.
Well, because like the whole blue milk in the Star Wars universe.
Oh yeah, Star Wars.
And then if you go to
Star Wars.
If you go to the theme parks, they have blue and green milk because apparently green milk can also be a thing in the universe. And I'm kind of like, we're working with pistachios. Why not have a naturally green milk?
Not canon.
It's absolutely not canon, but it exists. And
must have been one of the like animated series or comic book, or not comic. Yeah.
I don't know.
Water, on the other hand, I prevent food waste. One trash fry.
There's no water in friggin' what's it called? Oh my gosh, my brain doesn't work.
No, the joke is I prevent food waste one.
No, I'm trying to remember.
Wait till you're done thinking.
Okay, go ahead.
Preventing food waste one fry at a time.
Oh, gross.
But not ever preventing water waste.
Oh, I get it because you left the faucet on. It takes like years for the water to get hot in this kitchen.
That's the worst part about the house.
Yeah, I think so too.
The house is great, but the hot water heater or the water heater
is on like diagonally on the very other end of the house.
50 feet that way, and there's like one small pipe. Takes forever. Tatooine.
No, Tatooine is it? That's what hit my head first, but then that didn't feel right.
Sun desert where Anakin. Lucas.
Yeah.
Tatooine.
Okay. And then what's the one that Rey is from?
Tatooine.
Is it? No, it is also there?
Yeah.
No, really?
It's in the same area. Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Right. Yeah.
I thought she was in a different place.
Yeah, I don't remember everything about Star Trek, but I think I remember that.
What?
Jakku. Oh yeah, you're
There
right.
you
It's a
go.
different one. Jakku.
Okay, thank you.
She gets to. What's the Dota Academy? I don't know.
Cool. We're on the up and up, friends.
Oh, whoa. Brandon
Whoa!
with the 33. Is it potato?
Oh!
Slapping time?
That's so weird. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
There were so many other
Thank
things
God
that
we
you
didn't
could have
record this
done.
for YouTube.
That would have been really weird.
Brandon.
This is taking forever.
Your recipe.
I know. I should have just poured and not cared.
What does this even mean? What does this even mean? Oh, I never focused.
On me?
Oh, crap. Is the focus good?
Guys.
I didn't focus the camera. Okay.
Leppin. You know, it's kind of hard to make above average content with you. Okay, I'm at 210 grams, friends. I'm very near the end of this. Thank God. $2.15. Okay.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever done on stream for 9,500 subs. We're going to do a Sunday squads at some point.
220. Yay.
And also slap a potato. Hold on, I need absolute silence.
So weird. Why did that sound like it?
That sounded dirty.
That sounded a little dirtier than I expected it to. No!
Okay, now, could someone with any actual creativity besides, like, because that's what I come up with. Can someone come up with some good
That's so wrong.
sub goals for 10,000 that don't involve assaulting a root vegetable? The root vegetable, right?
Is what a root vegetable?
Potatoes?
Yes.
Okay, good. Remember the... Never mind.
What?
Sit on cake. No, I was gonna... I'm muting her mic. So someone said, slap a potato. Slap a potato for me. Slap a potato for me on stream. 10K subs, shotgun a 6-pack of Kirkland brand.
Yikes.
No. All right, continue.
Okay. For Shauna and whoever else is cooking with me, we've got our pistachios here. I'm going to just do like a handful at a time. Basically, what you want to do is you want to make sure that they go above the blades. So once they're above the blade, I know that it's going to get around and it's going to be able to break down all of the pieces well enough. I'm also going to just mute while I do this because this is going to be very loud. Keep it on? Okay. Go? Yep. Okay, so that's the first batch. Dump this in to our, what I'm calling our dry good. Okay, knife. Our dry good bowl over there. That's where all the flour and the pistachio flour and the regular flour is going to go. Dunk that out. Okay. Do I cosplay? No, I just like having blue hair. But I feel like I could make a really sick Coraline if I wanted to for like Halloween or something. Okay, next batch. So I guess he's got it up so you can see how fine that is. compared to what like I might get from like a food processor. Like really nice and fine. And it's not all like the texture is not going to all be exactly the same, but it'll be relatively close. I'm going to just do the rest of that, kind of breaking it in half. But you have to make sure that you have enough to go over the blades. If it's just under the blades, it's not going to do that enough. Okay, I am in fact going to mute this time because I'm pretty sure that he put the mic back up and he's in with Kate, so just give me 1 second. Okay. If this is, so you'll notice how fast that happens. If you start to get clumps at all, don't worry about it. Just you don't want it to get into a paste. If it starts to clump, you can just turn it off, turn off your blender, and like that's basically as far as you're gonna go. Does Let play horror games? He played something one time where it was like you had to like move around an apartment complex or something, and like screens and windows would like sometimes have like people in them or something, and they'd like be behind you. I don't even know what game it was, but like lights would start to flicker, and then you'd have to like go save the power because every time it's like blackouts would happen, and then when the lights came back on, there like might be a person there who's gonna try to like hurt you. I don't know what game that was, but he played that. Okay. So that's basically all we need this for. I'm going to move this guy over out of the way. And now we are going to have our flour. We're going to add flour to this. I'm going to be doing basically the same amount of all-purpose flour. About 1 3/4 cups, 220 grams. I don't feel like using measuring cups today, so I'm just going to use my kitchen scale. I've got it zeroed out. And now I am just adding. Again, we're doing 220 grams, or about 1 3/4 cup. Okay. Oh, I need to turn my oven on. Shauna, turn your oven on. Turn your oven on to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius. This is not forced fan. Just turn on your oven. If you want to, actually, I'm going to do a little extra today, and I'm going to turn it up slightly higher than the 350 or 177 Celsius, just to help stop spread a little bit, because I know that I'm not adding the pistachio paste core. So I'm actually going to go, let's do 375 Fahrenheit. And I'm going to just have it there so that it's hot. A lot of the times when you open an oven, obviously the heat comes out and cool air rushes in, and there's a bit of a circulation in there. So it lowers the oven temp. If you have it up just slightly higher for a preheat, and then basically like open the door, put the cookies in, close it, give it like 30 seconds, and then turn it to the correct temperature, you're actually going to have a less spread on your cookies, and it'll just kind of like all around you get like better rise, less spread, and it just kind of keeps everything a little bit better contained. He'd probably play a horror game, guys. He'd probably do that. Already did. Nice. You are on top of it. You are super on top of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna whisk these two together, these flours together, so that they're better incorporated. That way, when the cookies come together, cookies, you have to really like incorporate the wet ingredients really well and incorporate the dry ingredients really well before you add them together, because once those two kind of mixes come together, then it's really hard, or I shouldn't say that. It's super easy to overmix, and everything just like incorporates super, super fast. And you can almost mix to your cart's content when you're mixing the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients, but like once everything is brought together, you have like minutes before you've overmixed. And so you have to be kind of careful, and it's really good to just make sure that you're keeping the ingredients as incorporated as possible before they're all like put together. I'm gonna get a fork. I've got some little clumps I'm gonna break up in here. But you can see, like, I've added flour into this pistachio flour that we've ground up, and it doesn't look like it's that different of a texture. Other than these little clumps that I'm breaking up right now, this texture is really, really light. And that's what I'm going for. Join in on the what stream? What is that? Oh. Okay. Do I have recommendations for kitchen equipment? Yeah, I have tons of recommendations. Are you looking for like a specific kitchen appliance or tool, or we just saying like in general, do I have recommendations? I do. I did make an Amazon storefront this year. It's linked. It might be linked on my website. It might not be. It might be linked at the bottom of my website. It's definitely in my link in bio section on Instagram. If you click on the link in bio in my profile, it'll have like a little button there that will take you to my Amazon storefront, and I have kitchen tools and stuff linked for baking, for cooking, for cocktails. I've got like a little cookbook section, and they're just like in different lists, so you can use that however you would like, if you're interested in that. Otherwise, I'm happy to help with anything specific. I'm 20 in college dorm with kitchen that needs tools. Are you okay? Okay, slow down. You're in a college dorm, you need tools. Do you need the tools for yourself that you can keep in a small place, or are you looking for tools to actually stock your dorm kitchen? Nobody else in the dorm wants to cook. Got it. How much do you cook? Do you cook a lot? Are you looking for just like basic tools, simple stuff that will get you where you need to go? Or are you like going full out? I like to do all the things and even like specialty stuff. And then also, like, what's your budget? What do you like? How much do you want to spend? You do pre-made right now. I want to make actual meals and do meal prep to save money. Okay, cool. So you need basic stuff. Like $500. Okay, you're in a good place. Okay, I would tell you, get yourself a relatively large cutting board that's got silicone feet on the bottom of it. Okay, you just need like one cutting board. It's okay if it's plastic for now. You don't need any, like, there are people who will be like, it needs to be a wood block, it needs to be silicone, it needs to be whatever. Just a plastic cutting board is fine as long as it has the silicone feet on the bottom, and it'll actually stay still. You're in a good place. And then I would tell you to get one chef knife and one paring knife. So one big guy. These are typically between 6 to 8 inch chef knives. Go to if you can find like a kitchen supply store or something like that, look that up in the city that you're in, and go actually hold the handle of the knives that you're going to get. I have a couple of knives, and like I can't use this one. I can't use this one for very long because the handle is too bulbous and my hand gets really tired when I'm using it. So like my prep knife is like this guy because the handle fits my hand better. So like go hold the knife. You're gonna want to kind of pinch here and like hold it like really firm and see if that fits your hand. That's how you can kind of figure out that. I would suggest you get a petite chef. That's what this one is. This one is like 6 3/4. It's like going to be under 7 inches. Because the ones obviously it's going to be really hard to like how do I say this? When they're like when you've got a larger knife, it's like really hard to store it and use it, especially if you're not used to it. But that's going to be for like prepping vegetables, butterflying chicken, doing any kind of like larger prep work. And then for precision, you're going to go with a paring knife. I think this is like the 3 3/4 inch paring knife. These are Cutco. You don't have to get Cutco. You can get something that's cheaper. I have like a Calphalon one that I still use. This guy right here, he's probably like a $20 knife when I bought it. So I would say a paring knife, a chef knife, a cutting board. Cool. Get yourself a kitchen scale. It can be a cheap kitchen scale. They're as cheap as $15. Doesn't need to be, perfect. I would tell you to get one that, if you can, goes down to 0.1 grams. It'll go up to 5 kilograms and down to 0.1 grams. That'll probably be precise enough for meal prep. I do have this linked in my Amazon storefront. I have a lot of stuff linked in my Amazon storefront. But you can also get, so this is a Bomata scale. That's the company. I don't know if they're a good company. I just know that I've had 2 of these and they've served me well. And the only reason I got rid of the other one was because it was only battery operated and I wanted one that I could charge. This one charges and I can keep recharging it without having to do batteries. So that's why I bought this one. But you can get, there's a company, OXO does them. Escali is another one. And then I've got this guy and like just something simple. And then I would tell you to get like a bowl set. If you can get like a set of 4 bowls that are like nesting, so that you can prep and weigh and like all that kind of stuff, that would be good. I mean, a peeler. If you only want to get one peeler, I would tell you to get oh, that's not a peeler. That's not the one I want. I want to tell you to get a Y peeler. But otherwise you can get both the regular peeler. Where are we? I have no idea. Whoop. Where does he have this? Where do you have this camera? It's behind me. Do you see this? This is my legs. Where do you have the camera? Hi, that's my foot. I'm like looking around like, where is this on the thing? Y peeler and a regular peeler. This is a very in-depth question. I'm really glad that we are not actually streaming right now. If you do, honestly, I would weigh most of my ingredients, but if you feel like you need measuring cups and measuring spoons, I would tell you to get metal measuring cups and measuring spoons. They don't have to be these exact ones. These are also linked, but they don't have to be these ones. Just metal is easier to level. It's got a really straight edge. And so you don't over or under measure as often as you would if you had like plastic or something like that. Honestly, I feel like, and pans. I would tell you to get, okay. I used this one this morning, but I would tell you to get an 8-inch egg pan, nonstick, and then get a 10-inch stainless steel pan, and that's all you need. Buy yourself maybe a spatula. So, chef knife, paring knife, cutting board, 4 nesting bowls, an 8-inch egg pan, stainless steel, 10-inch, 2 12-inch, depending on how much food you plan to cook at a time, and a spatula. I feel like that's everything that I use every day. That's like that would be like a meal prep for like basic things, not going into anything that would be extra. When you really grow up, you get a walk. Yeah. Please continue now with the string. Still a cooking gripper cam. Oh, and the measuring cups. Yeah. Now over the scale. Cool. The last thing, I guess, the last 2 things that I would suggest, and this is like if you feel like spending just for whatever reason, actually, let's see. I have 3 things. Okay. Get yourself a silicone guy. You're gonna need this or a spatula for eggs when you're making your eggs. But if you're flipping anything, obviously, I really like to have longer, not the really wide ones. The really wide ones annoy me. And if you get like a metal guy, like if you're making like chicken or fish, like this is for fish, metal will be fine in your stainless steel, but you couldn't use it in the nonstick because nonstick coating and metal do not work. But I would say get like a spatula, a silicone coated spatula for flipping your proteins and eggs and stuff. Get yourself a thermometer so that you are not undercooking your protein and getting yourself sick. All of this stuff is like, just find my Amazon storefront. And then if you want to be fancy, get yourself a microplane, or you can get yourself a box grater if you want to be less fancy. That's just one of these. They're like $7 to $9. Cheese. I only use it for the cheese. I honestly, this is essentially the smallest side, yeah. But the microplane just works so much better, so. That's all I got. That's good. Maybe tongs? I don't know. You can use a fork. There's a lot of equipment that I have, like tongs, I could literally just use a fork or my fingers. It's kind of unnecessary, but tongs might also be something you would be interested in. Up to you. I think that gives you a kitchen. That gives you a really good kitchen. You should be able to get that within $500. Like, unless you're buying really expensive knives or really expensive pans, that will get you where you need to go for less than $500. They're making fun of you now? Yeah, it's good for a grill, but he's in a kitchen dorm. He's not gonna need tongs. Like, a fork will be fine. Okay. Very off track. Let's go back to what we were doing. You want to do some baking powder. I like this brand, Rumford baking powder. It's a double acting baking powder, meaning that it will activate when you mix it with an acid, but then it will also activate when it hits over 400 degrees, or not 400 degrees, over boiling, whatever. There's like a temperature in there. Once it hits that certain temperature, I have it written somewhere. I really should look that up. Then it will reactivate. Usually happens in an oven when you're baking, and you will get some extra rise out of it with a second time. That's what double acting is. Most baking powders at this point are double acting, but I prefer This one specifically because it uses monocalcium phosphate. If you get some other baking powders, I think if specifically like usually store brands, they use aluminum, and that reacts badly with some proteins and it will make things different colors. So if I'm making, I was making, it's like any pH sensitive foods, so like cabbage, or some things like garlic can be pH sensitive, and if you add an acid to garlic before it's fully cooked, then your garlic will like start to turn blue or green, and that is because of being pH sensitive. And so if you're baking using a baking powder that has the aluminum in it, will do that, and you might end up with baked goods that have like blue swirls in them. You're like, what the hell is going on? And that's why. It's just because it's like super sensitive to it. So we're gonna add our baking powder. I said 3.8 grams. That is the equivalent of 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which I am going to use a measuring spoon for that because I really don't feel like trying to weigh out 3.8 grams. Cool. Okay. And then we're also going to do, I guess that's it, yeah. Okay, now we're going to move on to our butter. We're going to move on to this guy over here. We've got all of our dry ingredients together and mixed. You can tell it's like a nice light green kind of color. He really has this light. Where is this? I'm going to end up. It's like right at the edge. This is crazy. Look where I have to be centered. That is off the, okay, that is off the counter. We're just going to be off centered. It's fine. So you can see that it's like a nice light green color because we picked through and chose the greenest pistachios in the bunch. Okay. All of the butter is going in. I'm going to mix this butter, whip this butter, beat this butter, whatever that looks like, for about a minute and a half at least before adding my sugar in. I want to whip this up really nice and get it nice and soft and light before I start adding other ingredients. All of the hard work, like I said before, for like baked goods happens at like the beginning of, like you're basically like whipping or beating or whisking for like a really long time, one ingredient at a time, and then once everything comes together, it happens really fast. So like this is going to go for several minutes of incorporation until we're ready to get our dry ingredients in. Let me move this guy all the way over here. You could move the camera. That would be nice, especially since it's at the very edge. Thank you. All right, we're going to get this going. Oh, that's sad, Pickle. I'm sorry. That makes me really sad. Okay. We're going to get that really nice and light, like I said. And then what we're going to do right now is just measure out the powdered sugar so that the powdered sugar can get added in little by little, because if you plop all of the powdered sugar in at once, it will just poof everywhere, and then your kitchen will be a mess, and you have no idea how much powdered sugar actually made it into your cookies. So we're going to grab this bowl back. grab our kitchen scale. And we're gonna do 135 grams, which is about 1 1/4 cup of confectioner sugar. And I'm actually gonna get a spoon for this because also if I try to pour this directly into that bowl, it will like avalanche in, and then I'm gonna have powdered sugar everywhere. All right, so 135 grams, 1 1/4 cup, give or take. Okay. We are going to need more powdered sugar later. After they're baked, they kind of get rolled in the powdered sugar. That's why they're called snowballs. I'm contemplating adding a little bit more flour to this. I guess for Shauna, this is totally up to you. If you decide that you're not going to stuff the cookies with the pistachio paste core, which is what I am not doing today, I have a feeling that's what you're also not doing today. You can add, I believe it's an extra 1/4 cup of flour. Pull up. Oh, here. What did I write? Yeah, an extra 32 grams of all-purpose flour, which is like about a 1/4 cup, and it's just gonna help it from spreading too much. I'm contemplating doing that right now. I feel like I want to. I'm gonna, do I want them to be really soft and just spread and not care? What are we going for? Shauna, I'm gonna let you decide today. Do you wanna have a more like mounded snowball cookie, or are we just going for soft, delicious cookies? Is the appearance more important or the end result? Do I have a preferred flour brand? Yes and no. I have preferred flour brands for different things. Soft, delicious cookies. Okay, no more flour. Flour is done. All right, I am at a good place with the butter. I'm going to turn this down because, again, that confectioner sugar is not going to want to stay in this bowl when I start adding it. I like to use King Arthur flour in general for like my all-purpose flours and my 00. I think they're consistent. I like the protein content in there. I think they put in a lot of work into coming up with like the amount of protein and mixes and stuff like that that they use. But I do like if I'm making certain things like biscuits or other softer baked goods, I will use either the King Arthur 00 or I will use White Lily, because both of those use a soft winter wheat, which makes a softer baked good, and they have a lower protein content. Well, White Lily has an extremely low protein content, and then King Arthur is like kind of it's a higher protein content for a 00, but it's still, because of the soft wheat, because of the fine milling, you still get a relatively soft but structured baked good. So depending on what I'm trying to do, like depending on how soft or how soft the crumb I want to have, I will use either White Lily or I will use King Arthur. And then the only cake flour that I can find is like Swan's Down. So like I've been using theirs for a really long time. What mixer am I using? I am using a KitchenAid mixer. It's the classic KitchenAid. This baby is, how old is this thing at this point? 14 years old? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do just like a scoop at a time, little spoonful at a time. Add once you see that it's incorporated. You can add the next spoonful. But we're just wanting to make sure that it's incorporated at this point, enough that it won't like poof out of the bowl. And then once it's added, I'm going to turn this up for just a couple of seconds, get it really whipped in, and then I'm going to get a spatula. I'm going to scrape down the sides and then turn it back up to let it keep going. I want to make sure, like I said, you want to make sure everything for your dry ingredients and for your wet ingredients are very well incorporated in their respective parts before you add them together. Otherwise, you're going to have pockets of butter without powdered sugar in it, and that's not great in a cookie. Okay. Last bit. Okay. I am going to use this bowl again for the second part of the powdered sugar where we are, or the icing sugar where we are coating the cookies. I'm going to give this a quick up. And then I am going to grab my spatula. Okay, so we're just going to scrape the sides. Make sure. I find that the classic is better for making anything that you need to make sure is like being incorporated, and you need to like get down and scrape the bottom of the bowl. The other ones just don't. I know I'm still hitting the butter here, but these guys, the big ones that you kind of like crank up and down and the bowl drops and like fits in. I find that it's like they're just always, the beater, like everything is always in the way because it doesn't tilt back and you like can't get into the bowl. You have to like completely take the bowl off before it gets to something that you can. And that's just frustrating, having to like attach and reattach or unattach and reattach a million times to make sure that you're incorporating correctly or seeing everything mix well enough. Okay, we scraped. We're gonna whip again, make sure that the powdered sugar gets really mixed in nicely, and then we're gonna add our egg, which I am about to overflow this. So we're gonna pour out some of this water so I can get to my egg. That is now a perfect temperature. Yay! If you're worried about eggshells, you can crack your egg over a separate bowl and then pour it into your bowl with your cookie mixture into it. Okay. Give that a crack on your counter. Drop her in. You're using a large egg. It should be between 50 and 55 grams worth of egg. If you want to be super consistent, I don't think these cookies really need that, but just in case, there you go. This is going to whip back up and it's almost going to look like frosting when it's ready. And I am actually going to turn this off and I am going to, again, scrape down the sides of my bowl to make sure that everything is within the beater's reach because I want this to all incorporate correctly. Okay. Hey, do you need anything?
No, I'm just hoping to she's drawn the most.
Cool.
Teaching her how to use paint.
MS Paint?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, we're gonna go in with our extracts. Okay, these are the last things to add before we add in our dry ingredients. You're gonna be using 5 milliliters or 1 teaspoon of your almond extract. And you're going to be using 15 milliliters or 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I really like Nielsen Massey as a company. No, I am not sponsored, but I think that they make, I would love that. I think they make a really good product. I have far too many of their extracts and pastes. This is my favorite vanilla. It's the Madagascar bourbon vanilla extract. It does not have bourbon in it. Madagascar bourbon vanilla is a specific type of bean from the Bourbon Islands off of Madagascar. Boy, don't we wish it had bourbon in it, though. There are lots of different types of vanilla. That one just happens to be my favorite. They do also have, I think my next favorite one of theirs, this is the paste, but that's fine, is just if you just get their pure vanilla bean extract or paste, it's got a brown label. Instead of this kind of cream and brown, it's like a darker brown with the cream for just the names. And that is a blend of all their vanillas, and they do a really good job with the blend as well. So like those are the two I would recommend for like an all-purpose baking, pastry, dessert vanilla bean. Okay, so you'll see this looks like, let's take this out. This looks like some fresh frosting here. And that is the consistency that we want. Now we're gonna add in our dry goods. Okay, I'm gonna go kind of spoonful by spoonful again with this guy. Because it's a little clumpy, it tends to kind of do the same thing that the confectioner sugar will do, the icing sugar will do, where it like kind of gets really weighted and then all of a sudden a huge clump will go in. And so I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Once we have this incorporated, we're gonna scoop, and then we are going to put our lined baking sheet. I've got one right back here with just a silicone mat on it. We're gonna put that into either your refrigerator or your freezer, wherever you have space, for a couple minutes to chill the cookies. It's gonna help slow spread. Is it necessary? Not really. Does it make a better cookie? Yes. It doesn't say it in this recipe, but in all honesty, the longer you let your cookies chill, the better texture, flavor you will get, and the less spread you will get, because you're really getting that butter to re-solidify. So it will spread less. But I think 24 hours is probably the max that I would chill these cookies. If you were planning on doing that, 20 minutes is probably the minimum. But I'm gonna put them in my deep freezer, so it goes a little faster. But they are gonna spread more than, like, I'll probably let them sit. So like I'll make a small batch and then I'll let them sit longer in my freezer or in my refrigerator and let that kind of really hydrate the flour, get really incorporated, and then I'll probably bake those off just before we go to our bottle share later. We're gonna give that just a quick mix and off. Now the cool thing is that this is a pretty uniform dough, and you don't have a ton, because it's like you don't have to get the sugar to break down and dissolve. You're using powdered sugar. You don't have, like, everything kind of like really incorporates really well. So even if you didn't want to use a stand mixer for mixing, you could use a spatula or a whisk this entire time. Like, this is one of those cookies that like you do not need this. This is just helpful, but it's absolutely not necessary. Like, you can see this just looks kind of like a paste. But that's our cookie dough. Okay. I mixed it by hand. It was fine. Exactly. And then I would also say, if you do plan to let your cookie dough chill before you bake them, pre-scoop your cookies. Don't put this in this bowl with the dough in the refrigerator and then let it solidify and then attempt to scoop your cookies. You'll break your cookie scoops. Don't do that. I've still not found a cookie scoop that will like stand up to that amount of I don't even know what word that would be. Amount of resistance? Resistance is a good word. We can do that. Looking for you.
Luke or Kate?
Luke, he just ran out of the room and said your name.
Luke! What is that?
I'm just attempting to scrape. I am always so tempted to eat cookie dough,
Ah,
but like it's not. You're not supposed to. We're living on. Should I live on the edge? Do I eat some of this cookie dough off of this thing, or do I just let it go? Flour is not safe to eat unless it is pre-toasted, and neither is the egg, unfortunately. So even if you have something that's egg-free, if you have a cookie dough that's egg-free, don't eat it. Don't eat it if your flour is not like pre-toasted or something. It still has like bacteria and stuff in it. Don't do it. Okay. Ugh, my nose is itchy. Okay. Make sure that we are fully incorporated. I'm just going to take my spatula. I'm going to go down underneath and kind of just fold everything around gently. I don't want to like really kind of mix in a way that's going to knock the air out of these. So we're just going to or like over mix them. So we're just going to gently kind of fold and scrape. Okay, that's where I want that to be. Let's scoop. You can do a couple different sizes. I'm going to make some smaller cookies today. I prefer to have, I guess what's this one, a 50? I prefer to use honestly, I prefer to use a 40, but I broke my 40. This guy is a 24. This one is a 50. It's just a number. You can tell, no, this one's 24 and this one's 50. Can't be gram.
Gauge. I don't know.
Not a
Gauge
wire.
is the
It's not a
bigger-
wire.
Or a shotgun.
Yeah, I know. It's in the same. It's in the same.
It's a shotgun of.
The dough smells amazing. I know. It's the almond and the pistachio together. So these cookies are pistachio cookies, but the almond extract kind of pulls it away from the savoriness of pistachio. But at the same time, because like that almond extract is nutty and slightly sweet, it almost enhances the pistachio, and it's just like just a really good smell, flavor, whole thing together. But I'm gonna use a 24 scoop. I think I have it written down. That is not the right one. Where are you? Oh, it's here. Let's see. I like to use a number 40, which is about 2 tablespoons or 30-gram cookies when I'm stuffing them. But when I'm doing when I'm not stuffing them, I like to kind of just make smaller cookies. I think just having a cookie that's you can eat in like 1 or 2 bites is just better than like having kind of a really large cookie that spreads out. And the smaller they are, the more surface area is being heated, the less spread you get. So kind of one of those things. But a number 50 is about 1.5 tablespoons or 25 grams, if that is helpful. The number, if you're looking for the number, because it's not like written anywhere that you would normally see it, it's actually on the piece that swipes the cookie out of the scoop. That is where you find the number for what your cookie scoop is. I'm gonna move this guy out of the way. And we are going to scoop. You're going to scoop these in a 3-2 pattern. You should have about 13 cookies on a sheet when you are done. And this should make, if you're making It should make between like 32 and 36 cookies. Somewhere around there. If you space your cookies, do not try to move them now. Wait until they're chilled. It will be easier. And I'll just chill 1 sheet's worth. We'll bake 1 sheet's worth. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scoop the rest of the trays while this is chilling. And I'm going to get those put away and chilling. And then I'll bake those later. But this is where we're at right now. Okay. So there's our tray of cookies. I'm going to go toss these into my deep freezer. And then we can chat for a little bit. Really? Like if you're working in Photoshop? That's kind of cool. All right, let me scoop the rest of these. Oh, these are going to be hot. I am going to measure out. They're a little warm. I'm going to measure out the icing sugar, the confectioner sugar, the powdered sugar, or whatever you want to call it first, and then I'll go back to those once they've cooled off a little bit. They're a little warm because they were in my bottom oven.
Yeah, so Kate's drawing emotes, and she's using paint.
Yeah.
And she came in crying. She's like, "The layers isn't working." I was like, "Paint doesn't have layers." She said, "Yeah, paint has layers." I was like, "No, it doesn't." And I look, and there's layers on paint. And she was getting mad because she didn't know how to delete a layer because she doesn't know about right click. She doesn't know. She doesn't use computer. So I taught her how to right click, but she taught me like paint now has layers.
Cool.
She's 7. Yo, what up, JD?
Hi. Hello. A roll of cookie dough? That's a lot of calories. Woof. I would have such a stomach ache after that much sugar. Food always smells better than it tastes? No way. No shot. I've had, especially wines that smell awful and taste really good.
Not like me.
What? That's gross.
Milkshake.
Are we doing milkshake? Should you chill them longer if you have pistachio paste? No, don't worry about it. So you make the cores first, right? If you're doing this with the pistachio paste core, you essentially, let me grab this out because you would need this and I can show you all the tools that you're going to need. Oh, where are they? Hey, hun, do you know what happened to the silicone teaspoon sheets that I have? Oh, no. Oh, here they are. They are where they were supposed to be. They're just underneath something that made it harder for them to see. You're going to need these. Okay. Essentially, you take your pistachio paste and you are going to smooth them into these guys, then these get frozen while you make your cookie dough. And then out of the refrigerator, 4, maybe 6 at a time, honestly 4 is a good number, take out 4 cookies, throw them on a plate or whatever, and you're going to take one of the frozen cores, pop it out, and you're going to stuff it into the cookie and then kind of wrap. So you kind of push the core down into the cookie that you've scooped and chilled, and then wrap it around and put it back in the refrigerator. So it's like this has been freezing, cooling, chilling the entire time you make the cookie dough. Cookie dough rests for 20 minutes so the butter can solidify a little bit, just enough that you can manipulate it. Then you push the core into that, pull it around, it goes back into the refrigerator for 20 minutes. I guess technically you do chill it longer, but the cookie, once the cookie is made, it's still a 20-minute chill time. If you wanted to chill it for longer, you're welcome to, but it's not necessary. It's basically like this chills, that chills, you put the two things together, and then they chill for 20 minutes together, and then they get baked. You will get your hand, if like, wear gloves if you're not comfortable touching food. There's nothing that I've found that allows me to stuff a cookie without getting like the butter, like, or like the outside of the cookie melting a little bit on my fingers. It's near impossible. Do we attempt to make a pistachio milkshake? What should I do? Good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty while baking, cooking, etc. Just I know like some people don't. I mean, I don't personally like sticky things touching my hands. I just don't care enough to wear gloves. So, was it the highlight of your trip, Nerm? Oh my god, I'm honored. Of course you can make a milkshake. Okay. I have to make some pistachio paste if I was gonna do that. I'm trying to decide if I really want to or not. I honestly could do something that's like slightly deconstructed, or I could like I could just make it. I don't like if it gets under my nails too. You're right. That's a good. And butter just like it's especially when it's part of like a dough, and when it's a dough like this, like it's rough. It's rough.
Wait,
What?
What did Nern say about what?
He said that the pistachio milkshake was a highlight of his trip. Oh, I said I was going to weigh this out. I'm weighing out the confectioner sugar for coating the cookies right now.
100%.
It's 110 grams, about 1 cup of confectioner sugar.
The pistachio milkshake will be the highlight of my day today.
I'm going to go back to this. Yeah, I have to make the paste for it.
I mean, hundreds of gifted subs. I mean, I guess that's okay too, but
honestly, you can use as much or as little of the powdered sugar as you want because this is just for coating. I just used like the smallest amount that I could to get all of the cookies coated, and like one at a time, and like have enough. If you do not want to deal with like coating a single cookie at a time and you just like want it to be done, you can get like a wider container, right? So like what you would maybe bake a cake or brownies or something in, just fill the whole dang thing with confectioner sugar and toss a couple cookies in. It goes faster. This is just like, hey, in an effort to minimize waste, this is like the minimum confectioner sugar that you will need. And if you run out or you feel like there's not enough to coat, you can just add more confectioner sugar to your bowl.
Bronk is going to Seattle for a cruise to Alaska. First of all, sick. Flying out to ATL, definitely hitting up Bobby's.
Yeah, I do it.
Hit up Bobby's.
Not that we like Bobby Flay, we just like his milkshake.
No, just the one milkshake.
His milkshake brings me to his bar.
Wow, nice. Well done. You really made that work.
Thanks.
Hopefully it's not out of service or out of
out of stock.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Came back from St. Jude.
Okay, am I actually doing this? Am I doing this? The pistachio paste thing? We're doing it? Yay, nay, yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, I'm not going to stuff the cores with it. I was going to make a milkshake. Yeah. So I'm not waiting for anything to chill. I've already scooped the cookies. Like, this is just kind of like while they're chilling, I'm doing this. Okay. Do it. Okay. What? Make the milkshake. Make the pistachio paste. All right. This is a quick version of the pistachio paste. I guess I will be using that blender again. Yay. So you need about 3/4 of a cup. I believe it's 125 grams. 125 grams of pre-salted, pre-roasted. If you want to learn more about making like the smoothest, most beautiful, most flavorful pistachio paste that you possibly can, I do have a recipe specifically for pistachio paste that goes through all of the dang steps and all of the options. This core, because it's the core of a cookie and like nobody cares about like eating it by itself as a spread, or it doesn't have to look pretty. It can be as rustic as you want it to be. It's going inside a cookie. Nobody's going to see it. Like, it's going to just be kind of like an extra added burst of pistachio and then like give like a little bit of an extra meltiness to the cookie because you've got that like paste in the center there, and it kind of like you're biting into the cookie. It's a little crumbly, a little crisp, and then the center kind of just like melts away, right? So that's kind of the point of stuffing it. But if so, like this is the quick and dirty version of the pistachio paste recipe. But if you wanted to go to the nth degree and have like a really pretty one, I do have a recipe and I do have all the instructions for that. So that is linked in this cookie recipe, or you can just like look specifically for the pistachio paste one and ignore the cookies and go read that first. And then decide what you want to do and how you want to do it. I will also say, this is not pistachio butter. This is not pistachio cream. Those are two different things. This is pistachio paste, is used specifically in pastry applications. It's really hard to get like a perfectly smooth, like spreadable, runny kind of whatever pistachio paste if you don't have a melanger, which is far too expensive for the normal home cook. I, even as I consider myself a professional home cook, do not have one of those and probably will never buy one of those things. Because I don't care and I'm not trying to sell anything. Like sell for consumers kind of a thing. But you're never gonna get it as smooth as you would like it to be using just like a food processor or a blender or something like that. You could maybe get pretty close with one of the like squat Vitamix containers. So I've got this guy, but this is the tall one. They have ones that are specifically for grinding up flours and grinding up peanuts, and they're like wider at the base and they're squat, like they're shorter and they're wider. And so like that might be a better option if you have the smaller, like the shorter version of this guy. If you're going to attempt to make a pistachio paste or like a pistachio butter, that would be your best option. I don't have that, and I don't feel like buying it when I'm fine with the way that it turns out. So that's an up to you thing. I have a really hard time buying individual tools when like something I already have will work. Yeah, I'm making the pistachio paste that would go into the cookie just because it's the quickest version of it. I'm not gonna go and like make a full-blown pistachio paste. No unitaskers? Yeah. I have like maybe like I can count on one hand how many unitaskers I have. But everything else, like I just can't. I have a cherry pitter. This is my biggest unitasker is this cherry pitter. Could I use a chopstick or a straw or whatever? Sure. But like, come on, like this is the best. I love cherries. We'll go through pounds of cherries during the summer. So like that's my biggest unitasker. Do I have a favorite cookware brand? Pots and pans. I have. If I were going to choose a single company that I think does well across all of its products, I would probably say Made In. But I only have one thing that's a Made In pan. I just know from other reviews, other people I know that use their products, other chefs that talk about and endorse products that I trust. Made In is consistently up there in the things that they recommend. And so I would say that I'm a little all over the place when it comes to everything is piecemeal. Nothing in my kitchen I did get a set in college. I got a Calphalon set when tri-ply was like brand spanking new and it was still patent protected, which ran out in like the mid 2000s, 2010s, somewhere in there. And now everybody has tri-ply and 5-ply. But at the time, it was like a huge thing in the industry because it allowed for more even cooking. So I did have like a set of Calphalon pans, and then several all-clad pans that also made it in there. But now, like I just have a mishmash of all different kinds of things. So I don't really have. Yeah, Avengers Kitchen Assembly, exactly. Mizzen is a good brand. They're super simple. So like Maiden, Mizzen, DeBuyer, like those are all super similar brands. Super similar. And I would argue Headley and Bennett has started making stuff that also fits in with those first three. I'm surprised. That's okay. I'm glad you like your Hexclad because I've heard very bad things. Not very bad things. I've just heard super inconsistent things about Hexclad. Okay, I gotta get going on this. 125 grams of pistachios. And then I need water. 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, 20 milliliters of water. And I think it was either 60 or 30. I need to 62 and a half grams of granulated sugar. You guys get to see me run around my kitchen now. This I'm going to let boil and dissolve into a syrup that is going to coat our nuts. Just gonna use a fork and a spatula. You can, if you're making any kind of caramel or syrup, you can stir until the sugar is dissolved, and then once the sugar is dissolved, don't touch it. If you're doing like a wet syrup that starts with water in it. If you're doing a dry caramel and all you have is just sugar in the pan, you can stir that. That's fine. I want this temperature to get up to about 245 degrees Fahrenheit or 121 degrees Celsius on the stovetop. That is the temperature of hard crack candy, which is like if you do like lollipops and things like that. Once you drop the pistachios into the sugar at that temperature, it'll coat the pistachios and then get really sandy as it dries. And that's what you want to have happen. I love that I'm teaching this when I should just be making it. It is fine. I don't know how to allow links, so post it in Discord, in Lep's Discord if you want. Oh, so it, like maybe the people that were the problem that people were having was just that they weren't. That's good. They weren't doing their due diligence with their pans. This is going to stay. There's a very little amount of water in the syrup. It is going to stay at about 212 Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius until the water boils off. Only when the water boils off does the syrup become hotter than boiling point. Anything boiling is always the same temperature. It's when the water is gone that it can increase to a higher temperature. Yeah, the problem was a skill issue. By the way, if anybody is actually like subscribing or like doing anything, I can't hear any of the notifications. So I'm sorry if I missed something. This should be hot enough. Yeah, hot enough. I'm actually gonna lower this because I did not weigh my nuts out yet. So let me do this real quick. I need 125. And of course, I've not pre-picked any of this out. Those all look good. Made the syrup before the nuts were ready. To bake the cookies that I have in the freezer. I get you've got a little ways to go if you've just got it in your refrigerator. But you should be about halfway there at this point. And then you'll be ready to bake. Okay. Speaking of, I am halfway to the correct weight of nuts. Ooh, this is a good handful. Okay.
Hello. Hey, how do you get Google
I have to download.
Oh.
Just look at my phone. It's over there. Should just be GChat or like Google Messenger or something like that. Google Chat. It's gonna be really weird. I guess I still talk to my mom on GChat. It's at the bottom. I pinned it as like one of my okay. Oh my god. Why does this always take so dang long?
Why is that building a peanut? Come on.
Nothing is. So close. 21 grams. 121, I mean. You okay? Having a hard time? Troubles, bubbles?
No, just read that.
Okay.
That was just crazy. Let's all look at left spot. Oh crap! Was I? Oh yeah, I was standing right there, wasn't I? Damn.
Okay.
That's crazy.
This is going into my syrup, where I will be mixing it. It almost looks like it's gonna be brittle and like a brittle, and then it starts to get really sandy. So it's like shiny, and then it starts to sand up because it's crystallizing. You're putting the pistachios in it, which are a much cooler temperature than the sugar, and that syrup, because it doesn't have any water in it anymore, will immediately crystallize to whatever foreign object is in there. This is also how you do like sugar sanded candy or sugar sanded like fruits and stuff like that. And then this is what you end up with. You get kind of like, you can see the transition. You can't see the transition. Lighting is not the best.
Here, wait.
There we go.
I got you.
No, it's okay. Oh, goodness. So yeah, you can see that they went from being like shiny and clear coated into that. This is what is going to get blended down, but I want them to cool off. So I am actually going to move them to a plate and put them in the refrigerator a little bit. Because if you blend this when it's hot, all of those oils and stuff are going to come out, and it's going to not be a great time. Okay. I'm gonna chop that, blend that. I'm gonna blend that in batches the way that I blended the dough. And I'm going to grab the cookies so that I can bake them off right now. I'm gonna need more almond extract. What else do I need? I need almond flour, almond extract, and oil, and that's it. Okay. Let's put some stuff away and grab our cookies. It is time. Ouch. Something else I like to do if I am chilling dough is I will have a second sheet. I mentioned like that you can essentially pick up and move your cookies after they've chilled, because otherwise it's really hard to attempt moving dough before it's been chilled, especially this dough. and I will move it over onto a secondary pan that is not cold so that when it goes into the hot oven, it doesn't have that issue of like having to heat up the pan and get everything going. Okay, so now that those are in, we're going to immediately change this to the temperature that I wanted it to be. Oh, okay, apparently hitting start turns off your oven. Start, thank you. Okay, so I want that to be, brought that down to 350 or 177 Celsius. Thank you for taking that picture. And then I am just gonna scoop some more cookies like I said I was gonna do. And we'll get these chilling. Just like the first batch. Oh, well that's not, I mean, that's just talking, right? My God, I'm looking at the main camera. What do you want from me? Okay, he's trying really hard to take pictures, but he's making me pose for that. In case everybody wants to know what the hell is going on and why I'm suddenly smiling for no reason. Okay. You could just have something that doesn't have me smiling. Do I need to smile? I'm a professional home cook. Wait, what is this? Watching Carrie cook reminds me how even though I cook well, she's playing an entirely different ball game. No way. No way. I disagree. If you're planning on kind of chilling and then moving cookies from like sheet to sheet to sheet, you could also if you're not going to bake right from, instead of scooping these out, I'm like sitting here scooping individual baking trays. I'm just going to scoop them and put them super close to each other and let them all chill together. So everything's going to go on this. Everything's going to end up on this one tray. Question is, can I move it without getting a bunch of dough on my hands? I think we can make it work. Ooh. So it's soft. This is more like it. But you can see how sticky. It's not a lot, but it does come off on your hands, especially if you're warm. How long did I say? Oh, those need to cook for about 11 to 13 minutes. I don't know what time it was that I put them into that oven, so that's fun. We're just going to keep an eye on them. I guess they've been in there for about, what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. We'll set a timer for 9 minutes so that I don't forget they exist. Anything about the kitchen in the new house that you're excited about or planning to upgrade? I am very excited that it has 2 kitchens. So I have an upstairs kitchen for normal cooking every day. And then I have a secondary kitchen in the basement that I can use as a studio for streams like this and for recipe testing and photography and all sorts of stuff. And the fun thing is about that basement kitchen is it's actually a blue and white kitchen. So it's even branded, which is awesome. And then we do plan to replace the oven upstairs. It's an electric cooktop and an electric oven, and I am going to be changing that out for an induction cooktop and double oven situation. Because I refuse to give up my double oven and my induction cooktop. Although it's not going to be like a whole built-in wall with like the two separate ovens. It's one of those ovens that has like one main section and then like a really small oven on top that can have a different temperature. But yeah, very excited about that. It's for the thumbnail. He has a picture he's been using on every thumbnail.
Mistakes. We have happy accidents.
The kind of fun thing about having a pretty uniform like cookie dough is like, especially like something for like the difference between this and like a chocolate chip cookie, is that you're not gonna have the like final cookies have like no chocolate chips or anything in it, and you're like, oh, this one's just like a sad one. They're all exactly the same. Kind of like that. Ugh. Metal against metal is not a great noise, friends. How impressed are we that I have not eaten or tasted any of this dough yet? Not. No, you can't have any, Kate. You can have a cookie once it's baked, though. Yeah, me neither. Sad face. Less impressive when you don't have access to the dough, but still good that you did not eat any of it. You can. Who are we kidding? I don't know. No, I will not be held liable. It's not good. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, that was fun. Okay. Let's try that with a better grip. I think I cooked garlic on that sheet. I'm a little nervous that those are all going to taste like garlic. It smells like garlic in here right now. I think the baking tray or the silicone sheet that those are on might have had garlic cooked on them last. Well, we'll find out. Something else to keep in mind for these cookies, just in general, I actually think that they're better on like day 2 or 3. They're good cookies, but if you're gonna make these are like a really good cookie to make ahead and then have kind of ready and just bring to a party a couple days later. So you're not like rushing last minute to bake. You're not trying to do all this stuff when you don't have time. These work out really well that way. I'm gonna go put these into my freezer. Okay. Yeah, my smells like garlic. No. You tasted the dough? What did you think? How did you feel about it? Where did I get my apron from? My apron is from Tillet. They're like an apron and like kitchen clothier for like restaurants and stuff like that. I really like their aprons. They're well made. This is not the exact one that I wanted because the one that I wanted was out of stock, but they're pretty dang close. It's got do that for now. So you can do little thermometer situation there, or you can have a pen kind of clipped in if you're like doing notes or testing. There is a pocket also on the inside here. Can't see it because we've got the there. There's a pocket on the inside here as well. That's super useful. You can put like kind of like the stuff out of the way and keep it back there. But they do have ones. They do have ones with like actual pockets on the front that are kind of like at an angle this way that are really nice. It's good? Good. I'm glad. Yay! Success. Okay. Back to pistachio paste. So what I'm looking for in these cookies, if you've done like an odd numbered cookie scoop, and it's not listed, like a time or something like that, it's not listed, or your oven maybe cooks differently, or whatever that looks like. What you're looking for on these cookies is you want the top to not be shiny anymore. So you want it to kind of like go matte and dull up a little bit, and the bottom is gonna like just start to get like a little bit brown underneath. And then that's when you know that your cookies are done. These are very close to done. Okay. These are about room temperature now. That's close enough. We're gonna need some almond flour. Almond flour. If you don't want to buy almond flour, you can buy raw almonds and use your blender to make almond flour. The same way that we made our pistachio flour. Really up to you on that one. Let's see. Need 30 grams of almond flour, which is not very much. Saying it's done. 30 exactly. Again, I'm gonna just do enough to go above the blades. I'm actually gonna use two appliances for the pistachio paste. I am going to use the blender specifically for making like a powder, like a really fine powder, and then I'm going to use my food processor to make the final paste. I find that a food processor is great at keeping that kind of like whipped going, and getting all of the oils out of the nuts and turning it into a paste, but it's not great for texture. So I kind of like create a fine texture and then use the food processor for the remainder of the process. Excited because I've been on a hunt for an uncommon different cookie flavor. There you go. Oh, I'm excited for you. These are honestly these cookies. I like these cookies better than my chocolate chip cookies. So if that is helpful for you, know that. Okay. This is what you end up with. There we go. Slightly mounded, yes, spread, but like they're not usually a snowball or like a Mexican wedding cookie or a Russian tea cookie or whatever recipe you're looking for. They're typically like mounds. Like it's almost like a semicircle. Like if you had taken one off and taken the other off and put them together, they would like form a actual circle. These do not do that. They would if they were stuffed. But like I said, I like these to be soft. I like it to be a kind of crumbly, cakey texture. I don't want them to be like kind of that hard shortbread texture. So that's where we ended up. Hi. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
This. Okay. You know, I'm kind of thinking to myself, maybe I should have just put this in the food processor. I'm going to do that before I turn this on. We're going to just do the nuts in the blender. He can just, it's okay. Like when he gets here, he can just sit. Kind of almost done. I'm going to stop talking and I'm just going to go to town, friends. The cookies are out. I'm going to let them cool for about 5 minutes and then I'm going to coat them in the powdered sugar. So I will tune back in when that happens. These beat out the toasted milk powder cookies. To me, they do. I like these better. That's a personal preference, though. I like chocolate chip cookies. But there's only so much chocolate I can eat, if that makes sense. I could just eat, like I would just eat and eat these cookies. They're like slightly sweet and nutty and like very well balanced. And it's not ever too much. Like I could eat so many of these cookies when given the ability to. So, okay. We're gonna do that. That's better. Okay. Yeah, if you want to. I was just gonna mute myself, but turning it down works. It's too much. That should be good. Okay. Okay. You ready? And go. I have a knife around here there it is. I guess the last thing is like a teeny tiny bit of almond extract and then 1 to 2 tablespoons, 15 to 30 milliliters of a neutral oil. Okay, go back here. Imagine being lactose intolerant or allergic to chocolate like me. How lactose intolerant are you? Can you have butter? You can get chocolate that doesn't have lactose in it. You can get like carob. Make yourself some cookies with carob.
My brain says yes, but my tummy says no. My entire life.
Hey, polar bear. Thank you. That one's stuck a little bit.
Polar bear.
It's been a long time.
Hello, welcome. Shoot that 0. Life's great. We're moving in June to Colorado, Fort Collins.
Yeah.
We're very busy, but also we're having a 300 plus hour subathon. Is the overlay messed up?
Is it? I hate scraping noises, guys.
Oh no, it's above the same color.
Oh, that's funny.
Polar bear!
What?
Adding 5!
Oh, thanks!
10 extra minutes of this
10.
hostage situation.
Okay.
Holy.
We've got almond flour,
Thanks for the money.
pistachio flour, or candied pistachios that are turned into a flour. And then we're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of the extract. And we're going to get going. gonna go grab my neutral oil. How are the babies? They're not babies anymore. And then this just runs for a long time. Longer than I would like. All right, we've got, I hate this. We have our cooled cookies. I'm going to, let me get this guy. I'm gonna get a cooling rack. I'm gonna place this over another tray so that I don't get powdered sugar all over my countertop. You can just put parchment paper down if you don't want to use a tray and do the dishes, but honestly, even parchment paper is just gonna get you stuff everywhere. Okay, we got our cookies. I'm going to just kind of drop it in to my confectioner sugar. Oh my God, where do you have this thing? There. We're gonna drop this into the confectioner sugar, and being left-handed sucks in this situation. Okay, there you go. And then that is our pistachio snowball cookie. Et voila.
Playing Candy Crush? No. Brandon, I'm actually trying to send you the clip of you beating the crap out of the guy with the hammer in game last night when you saved my life. It was so funny.
If these are too hot, it melts the confectioner sugar so much so that it just becomes kind of like a glaze. That's fine, but if you want it to look like the quintessential like snowball, then you need to wait for them to cool off a little bit. If they're too cool, the coating doesn't stick as well. So it kind of, you need to have kind of like a happy medium. They need to be like slightly warmer than body temperature. But obviously not like, you know, directly out of the oven. They'll be too soft at that point.
Good push the talk on. Yeah. You were the comment was like, man, he's locked in. He didn't say nothing. I was just yapping the whole time.
Oh, I know. I broke one. I'm so sad.
That's terrible. Which one?
It's a terrible one. This one right here.
What makes these cookies amazing? Probably mainly the fact that Carrie made them, but also pistachio is goated.
You're cute.
Yeah, my push to talk was on for Prox chat. It's hard to remember to yap if you have to press a button.
Okay, first batch down. I'll wash my hands and eat this cookie.
What food processor should you get?
This is a Breville.
Breville. That looks terrible. I don't want any.
Okay. Cookie. Nice and whoop.
Oh no, it's falling apart.
It's got like a gently green color. These could be greener if you like didn't have any of the skin on them. Or you bought really green Turkish or Persian, Sicilian, I think, also pistachios are like really good for getting like bright green. But oh, so good. I could eat so many of those. All right, I'm gonna turn this back on.
Muted.
Put it over here.
No, just put it like far away.
Or like all the way on, like maybe on the edge of the counter. It just needs to, this needs to blend for like 10 minutes. So I want to make sure that it's not like I can talk and you guys aren't just like listening to this noise.
You want me to go see it? Okay.
If you move it too far away, I can't keep an eye on it. Okay, bye. Circus peanuts, very funny. That would be actually really interesting. Okay, there you have it. Cookies, yum. Can we get a Lep cooking stream? I would love to do I would love for him to do a Lep cooking stream. You can make a cocktail. It could be something simple. You can make a Paloma.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, drinking. Yeah, I'd make drinks. Pizza. We do have a pizza oven. I like to try the pizza.
I'd have to make the dough.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a...
Make it quieter.
Yeah. That's going to fall off. We're going to dampen the sound a little bit. I'm like, keep it close so that I can look at it. Immediately covers the bottom of it in a towel. It's fine.
Yeah, it's super quiet from this far away.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Look at the bar.
Oh, cool. Okay. Okay, so pistachio milkshake?
Yes.
So that's what we're going for, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you freeze the dough and bake them off later? Absolutely you can. Add 1 to 2 minutes cook time to your cookie, and then right from the freezer, you can go right from the freezer. You're good to go.
We don't make
You can absolutely do that, and I do encourage it if you're not planning on eating all 36 cookies in 4 days. Okay, let's find the milkshake recipe. Here we go. So I've got some white chocolate ganache already in my refrigerator because I am always prepared. I've got my pistachio paste now done. And all I need to do is put everything together with vanilla ice cream and milk. That's too much. An appetizer, main, dessert, and a drink? Nah, he would never. Could never. Happy Star Wars! We're currently making green milk. Pistachio milkshake. If he made, see, here's the thing about making pizza. If we did pizza, I would have to make the dough and get it ready, and then he would have to just put it together. But I think it would be really funny. I'm just going to be off camera chatting. I think it would be really funny to watch him attempt to stretch out the pizza dough so that it's like circular and like getting that all baked off, that would be actually that'd be pretty funny, I think. Oh, actually, I need my blender back. Go figure. Milkshakes. All right, what do you want your milkshake in?
Hey, Fraley. Just a plastic cup. Unless you want to have a picture of it.
You want it to be clear? Oh, that sounds like that's correct. I'm hearing that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm hearing that. That sounds like it's getting rare. Yeah. Let me take a look at this. Yay!
Big curry? Smoker. We have a smoker, but it's packed up until we get to Colorado.
Let's take a look at this.
Favorite Star Wars moment?
Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more oil in this. Right now, we just have pistachio crumbles. It'll keep going. So the longer you let this go, the more the oils and the nuts are gonna heat up and release, and then it will turn into like a full-on like paste. But I'm skipping by adding oil into it and instead of letting the nuts do their job over time. That's delightful though.
Cold or hot smoker? I think it's
I'm just gonna use this right from here and then let this continue going. But technically the only difference now is just adding some like oil and getting it to the correct texture.
Oh.
So let's do this. It's in the pantry. I think you put it over in the pantry. We're gonna rinse. And I don't care too much about cleaning this whole thing out because it had pistachios in it. Just want to get most of the water out. Okay.
Smoker, a hot smoker.
Hot smoker.
There
But
you
you
go,
can-
Kirkle. Hot.
Yeah. Okay, I need 45 grams of pistachio paste, and I need 30 grams of the white chocolate. Okay. $30 grams of white chocolate ganache. Shauna, have you had a cookie yet? All right, so we got some white chocolate ganache. I need 30 grams of that. Okay, and then we're gonna need ice cream. I selfishly, not selfish, I'm making pistachio milkshakes for everybody, right? I selfishly went to the store yesterday, and while I was, or I guess I went to the store unselfishly, but while I was there, I got vanilla ice cream because I selfishly wanted to make a milkshake since I knew I was messing around with pistachios today. Okay. Yes, they are incredible. Yay! I'm so excited. Very excited. As they cool, they're going to kind of get a little bit more dense. And then they're gonna hydrate a little bit more as like the flour kind of hydrates and sits and stuff like that. And they're so good. They're so good. Like, and I think that it's funny. So it's like right? So like they're already good out of the oven, but the longer they sit, the better they get. And I know it's kind of hard to think about it, but like they're gonna get even better because they're already so good. I love these cookies a lot, like a lot. Okay, I need 165 grams of vanilla ice cream. Let me get. I don't even know where my ice cream scoops are. I think they're in here. Let's see. Okay. Close enough. Okay, and then kind of stacking silverware over here. About a quarter cup, 60 mils, 67 grams of whole milk. Okay. And this is going to get blended. I'm muting you guys. There you have it. Single serve pistachio milkshake that I am about to share with Lep. Good. Ooh. Cheers.
Oh, doing laundry.
Green milk.
Oh, it's like,
It's
yeah.
so good.
No, this is basically
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be the blue milk, but you know, slightly green.
Yeah. No, I haven't, but salting ice cream is, yeah.
This is better than Bobby's burger. Like, get out of the way, Bobby. This is better. I mean, at least the same or better. Okay, take it away.
Okay.
Oh my god, I would do anything for pistachio milkshake.
That's so good. Yeah. That's dangerous. Very good. Okay, that's the stream. I guess you get to go back to.
Yeah, the stream's over. Wait.
That's the cooking portion of this stream. So I guess you get to go back to your room.
The hostage situation.
I'll clean up the mess that I made.
Continues, yes, while talking to my mother and Corey, who'll be over in a little bit.
Yep. And baking off the rest of the cookies.
Yep. No, the streams go back to low quality.
Oh
no. Oh yeah, we can do a zoom in on the cookies.
Okay.
I'll just do it over here.
Well, I can always make. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with trying to secure the bag.
Pistachio. We'll rinse this.
Shut it down.
Yep. Switch it over, shut it down. I don't know what you gotta do. Huh. Little sippy sip.
One more little sippy sip.
You're welcome. So I'm having deja vu right now. Huh. You thank you very much for joining. Thank you for hanging out with me, cooking with me. Always a good time. And I guess I'll see y'all next time. I am not doing a June cooking stream, cook along, because we will literally be driving across states at the time. So there is nothing planned. I'll see you guys the next cook along in July. Catch you later, or I'll just see you on his stream and we'll hang as usual.
Yeah.
Oh, and Corey's here. Huh. This is the this is the last cooking stream in Florida. You're welcome. Hey. Yeah, the camera's live right now. He's about to switch it over. Off camera, yeah, if you don't want to go in.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, bye Florida kitchen. I'm gonna miss this kitchen a lot. Fully honest, I am gonna miss this kitchen a lot. But I will say that the kitchen in the new house.
Hey, Chad, I'm back.
Okay, still setting up. It's a lot of work. Okay. Here you go. Watch me work. Wait, what? What will you never know? Oh, Kate made this emblem or this emote. Kate was working on this emote. Stream may go out. Hold on, I'm unplugging a big cord. Still good? Oh God, are we good? Good. We ride. Wait, what was the question? I can answer any question Carrie was answering, probably. What was the question? Where's the potato clip? No idea. We don't want you mansplaining? Damn. She said shut it down, so I shut it down. What do you mean?
Now this one took me the long.
Yeah, this is crazy. Crazy subathon. Crazy. I need to figure out what we're doing for tonight. Because I don't want to leave you by yourself here with my mom and the kids. That'd be terrible. I just met you guys, and this is crazy. But here's my Twitch stream.
All right.
How can I do this? I need to set shit up. I need to figure out. I want a game. I'm so tired of setting stuff up. I can't. I'm so tired of setting stuff up. Okay, here's the problem. Let me tell you the problems. This is how I play video games, by the way. Is that not crazy? All right, it's not, I'm not actually leaned that far back, but it does look a little. You do one click for the recline. Oh, that's here. Yeah, and this is almost straight up. Hold on, let me move the camera so it doesn't look ridiculous. Like this is sitting straight up. I'm typing in my spreadsheets, and then let's lean it back. Okay, but I go all the way down and then one click up. Why don't you spread those sheets? No. Okay, here's the problem. On the first Sunday, of every month, today is that, May the 4th. And, oh, I didn't end the YouTube stream. Shit.